Howdy there, partners. It's the Home of Rock and Roll, I-95, the morning show with Ethan Lou and Large Dave and Jake Adams today.
Howdy there, partners?
Yeah, well, it's Bon Jovi, Blaze of Glory, Young Guns,
All right.
Evidently, we're in Texas now.
Gotta switch it up once in a while,
Joining us on the show this morning. He's been on before. Very good friend of mine. Jay Cadmus is here. He's from New Fairfield. And explain to everybody, what was your corporate gig? What did you do?
Oh, gosh.
Put right up close to that mic.
Ethan microphone.
Oh, that's much better.
It's been a while since I've been in front of a mic.
There you go, buddy.
Did I get this right? Is this Lou's mic?
Yes.
Should I wipe this off before?
You might want to. Yeah, you want some Purell.
You guys have any Purell? Some wipes?
There you go.
I'm sorry, Lou. I'm sorry, Lou. I'm sorry to make fun of you because you're not here, and that's not fair.
Germs.
I started my career as a newspaper reporter. Did that for a while, mostly in upstate New York, City Hall, cops and courts, news features, all that stuff. And then I made a transition into communications consulting. I worked for a small PR firm. And then I went corporate side, and I worked mostly in the IT industry for the better part of the last, 35 years.
Did you work for a specific company in Danbury?
Not in Danbury.
Okay.
I worked for General Electric briefly. I worked for I worked in the energy industry for a couple of years, and then I moved over to the IT industry. I worked at IBM, and now I'm currently at a company called Cognizant, which is one of the largest IT and consulting firms you've never heard of.
So I
but they're big.
I wouldn't understand anything that you did.
Well, I write. I was a speechwriter. I did internal communications, which meant I did the newsletters. Somewhere in 94, 95, I became a web content provider. 10 minutes before that, I didn't even know what that was. I was a PR guy. Basically, I can't hold a job, essentially. They just kind of shuffle me around to different roles.
So why an author?
For me, it's always been about the experience. It's always been about learning how to do new things. Mm-hmm. And my philosophy throughout my career has been, why not? Can you write a speech? Well, I don't know. Let's find out. Why not? When I said I became a web content provider, I was sitting in my office one day, and I got a call from a guy in the software lab. This is like in 95. He said, "Hey, my name's Marcel, and I'm building something called a website. Do you know what that is?" And I said, "Yeah, I think I heard about those in a magazine." Mm-hmm. And he said, "I'm building it around what we do here in Research Triangle Park, North Carolina," which is where I was at the time. He says, "But I don't have any content, and you're in communications. I thought maybe, do you have content?" I said, "I got loads of content. I got newsletters. I got bulletin boards. I got this. I got that." 10 minutes later, I'm a web content provider.
There you go.
Who knew?
That's great.
The book, it was really more about, can I do this? Can I do this? I had an idea rattling around in my head forever.
Now the one that I'm narrating, this is your first book.
No,
Mob Guy was the first book?
Yeah, no, Mob Guy is the second book.
Okay.
The one you're doing now.
Yes.
Yeah, Ordinary Man's the first one. We did it. Right. We did them in reverse order.
That's all right.
Yeah. It's okay. But anyway, with the first one, it was, can I do this? I had never written anything longer than maybe 15, 20,000 words. It's like, could I write something the length of Tom Sawyer?
Yeah, let's go. I've never done it before. Let's write a book. And when
it's done, and frankly, low bar, what's the loss? So I did it, and, the book came out, and, it's gotten pretty good reception, and I'm like, hey, good for me.
Yeah.
And then with the second one, it was like, well, can I do it again, and can I do it better? So, now that I know what I'm doing, the first time around, I'm like, as I'm writing the book, I'm trying to figure out how do you write a book. And it's kind of like trying to change the oil on a car while you're going down the road at 40 miles an hour. Now it's like, all right, now I sort of know how this works, how long a chapter should be and how you get in and how you get out and how you stage it. So can I do it better? And I thought both books had an interesting topic. So, you kind of take off from there.
Can we dial down the big words?
Well, what big words?
I have to go back to, I'm narrating Ordinary Guy right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Ordinary Man.
Ordinary Man.
Not Ordinary.
What big words have I thrown in?
There's a lot of words in there that I have to go back over and over and over again.
Xylophone?
No.
Vuvuzela?
Yeah,
that's been popular today.
Or maybe I just don't pronounce those words very well, and they're really not complicated words.
Well, you got to be a professional.
Yeah.
You got to.
No, but when I when I finished the first book, back in, I guess, 2017 now, geez.
Yeah.
After it came out, people were asking me, are you going to do an audiobook? And I thought, that's probably something I should get around to. And then when I was publishing the second book, I thought, I really should do this. This is a growing area for books. Audiobooks are like a $2.5 billion industry right now in the U.S., and it's supposed to grow to like $35 billion in the next 5-6 years.
Jeez.
So I'm like, well, I should probably get in on that. Yeah. But the obvious question is, well, who would I want to do it? Who could I get? So, I immediately started to go, Kevin Costner. Yellowstone's over. He's got time.
Yeah, right? Not a problem. Sure.
Robert De Niro, what's he doing? Chaz Palminteri, Bronx, he'd be great. Yeah. And actually, a couple of guys in my band know him. He lives down in Westchester where they are. But we couldn't make that happen. It was scheduling and, the rate structure, and probably most importantly, he just didn't want to do it.
Yeah. Sure.
I think that was the final nail in the coffin. But Ethan, he was right up there in there, after De Niro and Costner, but before Palminteri.
I'll take it.
There, man.
That the truth is, I was thinking about who I could get, and frankly, anybody in this room other than me could do it. Dave, you'd be great. Ethan would be great. Lou would be great. He just doesn't like to read.
Right.
So he'd be better for like brochures or pamphlets, leaflets.
Any kind of commitment.
Mike Allen would have been great. But really, Ethan was, the guy that I kind of wanted, but I was like, well, I don't really know him that well. I don't know if he'd be interested. How would I approach him? But you guys were kind enough to have me on the show when Mob Guy came out a year and a half ago. Mm-hmm. And before I could say it, you said it, like on the air, like in front of witnesses, in front of God in America. He says, hey, maybe I could narrate your book. And I'm sitting there going, play it cool. Play it cool. Give him a little line. Okay, don't reel him in too fast. Yeah, we might,
It's kismet, whatever that word means.
Oh.
The fact of the matter, I was thinking about getting into audiobook narration, and I knew you had books out. So you and I were thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Well, and low bar, because, what's the risk?
Exactly.
I'm not,
no deadline.
No deadline.
In the book, thank God.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I learned from doing the first book was it's more important to get it right than it is to get it fast. Yeah. So, and I knew you had a learning curve in terms of learning how to manage the technology and just, getting it right, because it's a different kind of reading.
It's just, but here's the thing. It's just not reading.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of other things.
It's acting. It's
acting. We're going to take a break here, okay? Because can you stick around? Do you have a date?
I got time.
But before we do, why don't we tell them where they can listen to this or get this book?
Oh, yes.
Oh, you can get it on Audible. Ellis, what's good?
Interesting dude.
Well, let's not get carried away here. I heard the intros you guys did before I came in. Fascinating and interesting. I'm like, I don't know if I can live up to that.
Okay,
You're okay. I'm excitingly average.
You're a Renaissance man, Jay. You do a lot of different things. You make maple syrup.
I just got to have something to do, or I'm getting into trouble.
You told me that. It's like, something's got to occupy me.
We're empty nesters. That's why we had to get a dog. Otherwise it's just me chasing my wife around the house, pinching her bottom and telling her my stupid jokes. She's not having it. She's like, you need something to do. You're getting a dog. So she didn't say it, but yeah.
That's what Mindy said to me.
But after this guy, to get a dog.
I want to get a dog, Dave. Mindy doesn't want a dog in the house.
See, I think the thing for people of your generation, my idea for this, I haven't figured out how to monetize it, dog share. You find another couple like you.
Yeah.
And you dog share. You never have boarding expenses because there's always a place for someone to go.
Mm-hmm. Never
there's
thought
a way
of that.
to split the expenses on the veterinary and things like that.
And then if you're on vacation and you can't take the dog, then it can go.
Exactly. Yeah. So my dog is available on a rental basis. If you Cujo the Hellhound.
Your dog's going to bite my face off.
He won't. Once he gets to know you, once you're in the tribe, you're good.
Well, how's he going to get to know me?
I told you, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
We bring you in the house, we sit you down, then we take him out of the crate, he comes over, he gives you a sniff, and he says, okay, he's my friend.
So he's not going to take a chunk out of my thigh?
I will not allow that to happen.
Okay, good.
So, yeah, I think that would be, something we would not want to have happen. But
you got a big doggy?
He's about 55 pounds.
Oh, okay.
So he's wearing me out. So. Yeah. But, I like to walk. I like to walk around the neighborhood. After my previous dog passed away, I continued to take the walks. The problem with that is, if you don't have a dog, you're just a weird guy wandering around the neighborhood. The neighbors are like, what is he up to? Gladys Kravitz peering from behind
you go out and take a walk. Why is that so horrible?
Because, what is he doing? If you have a dog, the concern immediately shifts to, is he picking up the poop?
Yeah.
Is he picking up the, okay, he's picking up the poop.
So
it's
true.
Fine.
He's good.
It's good.
So true.
Yeah.
I always have my little plastic baggies with me.
Got to do it, man. Right. You know, we live in a polite society. It's just one of the major tenets. You have to pick, you know.
Yep.
We have a neighbor who had a dog years ago who would occasionally get loose and take a dump on our lawn. And my wife was really not happy about it. And I finally said to her, honey, we got to pick our battles.
Yeah.
We like John. We like John's dog. If John's dog occasionally gets loose and takes a dump on the lawn, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Starts to happen on a regular basis, I might have to have a word with John. If John starts doing it, that's a different situation.
Wow.
We're going to have to talk about that.
Right.
Pick your battles.
Or his doctor.
Yeah. So, you know.
See, intelligence by the moment here on I-95.
We're talking to Jay Cadmus now. Before we leave the book thing.
Or get back to it.
Or get back to it. Is what the two books actually are about.
Okay. The first book, Ordinary Man, is about a ordinary average guy who becomes a hero and turns his life upside down overnight. He's driving to Home Depot on a Saturday morning. Now, this is a guy, middle-aged, in the thick of the middle-aged slump. You know, life has kind of ironed the wrinkles out of this guy. You know, kind of obsessed with his lawn. He's driving to Home Depot, sees a terrible car accident, stops to help, pulls a young woman out of her minivan and her baby just before it explodes. And then he goes home and mows his lawn. And by the next day, you know, social media is blowing up. He's got, you know, the national media on his front lawn, and everybody's going, this guy? And it kind of takes off from there.
Goes from there,
Kind of goes from there. So, you know, what happens when a nobody becomes a hero?
Exactly.
The second book, set in the same small Western Connecticut fictional town of D'Urbville. Couple of guys in town, Tom and what are my characters' names? Tom and Vince.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm doing you now. Tom and Vince.
And
kind of meet. They sort of hit it off. They got a lot of things in common. Their wives become best friends.
Right.
Their teenagers start dating. Their younger kids are pals, and everything's going fine. They play in a band together. They read the same books. And everything's going okay until Tom starts to realize that Vince might be the local organized crime boss.
Right.
And things get a little bit weird after that.
Certainly does.
Yeah, so.
But I remember a passage in the book. I don't want to give it away. The wives turn out to be best friends.
Yeah.
The two wives.
Yeah.
And something happens with the surgery. And then the other woman gives the kidney to the other woman. And I'm reading this, and I'm tearing up as I'm reading it. Because I'm kind of a wuss anyway. So those kinds of things just get me.
Yeah.
But the book is great.
Well, and that was one of those cases where I was able to, you know, kind of work my own agenda in.
Yeah.
I'm a big advocate of organ donation and transplants. I actually, you know, donated a kidney to somebody about, I guess 8-9 years ago now. It's a good friend of mine, Jim, lives here in town. And it was a life-changing experience for both of us. And it really, you know, anybody can do this if you're in good physical condition and good health. And I really encourage people to consider it. There's about 125,000 people in the U.S. on the transplant list every year, and maybe 1,200 of them will get a kidney.
Wow.
So the transformation for him is, you know, he's uncontrollable now. 6 months before the surgery, he could barely walk down the street. 6 months after the surgery, he's calling me up and saying, "Hey, Jay, can I borrow your chainsaw?"
Wow.
Hey, Jim, how you doing? and no, I'm not loaning you my chainsaw because I know you.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know.
Excellent.
Yeah, I also talk about things like Alzheimer's in the book. My dad had Alzheimer's. So, you know, you write about the things you know.
Exactly. Personal experience.
You know, because that's what makes it authentic. You know, you've got to be able to write about things. You know, the mob part of it was a little bit of a stretch for me because I didn't know that much about it. I had to do what I call high school freshman research, read some books, watched a few documentaries to try to get the details right about things like the culture. And
it is a good book.
Yeah.
And right now I'm narrating Ordinary Man. I want to let you know, 9 down.
There we go.
And what is it, 18 to go? Chapters?
Something like that.
Yeah. Getting there.
I have to tell you, and this story embarrasses Ethan, but I'm going to tell it anyway.
Here we go.
When we first started talking about doing the books, the first one and the second one, I realized I had never listened to one. So I thought, well, I should do that, you know, because like, you know, things like, well, how do you get dialogue to work when there's more than one voice? How does that? So I did. I downloaded one. It was an Elmore Leonard novel.
Oh.
And it was narrated by a guy named Frank Moss. Now, in the day, Frank has since passed on. He was a voice actor and an actor, but in his prime, he was the guy.
Yeah.
Like he did John Grisham, he did Stephen King, he did Elmore Leonard, all those really top shelf best-selling authors. He was the guy. And I listened to it, and it was good.
Yeah.
And I now understood how it worked. In the meantime, Ethan sent me a sample chapter he did, and I listened to that. I'm like, well, Ethan's better.
Oh.
He's just better.
Oh, Jay, come on.
It would, conveniently, it's true. He really was. He just kind of nailed it. And I think part of it was I could tell he liked the book by the way he was reading. I could tell he really enjoyed doing it. So
yeah, I really do. And one thing is, and I'm not one of those guys that builds myself up. In fact, I have an inferiority complex anyway. Yeah. But this is going to sound weird. I like the sound of my voice when I'm reading a novel, like your novel.
Yeah.
It's performing.
Because I have to, once I finish it, I go back through it and I take out the breaths, I take out the mouth noise, all that kind of stuff. And I don't mind listening to my voice. I think